Good morning, John. I have an awesome question for you. As a solopreneur, I'm doing and wearing so many hats, man. You have any suggestions of what I could do to alleviate that and to take care of my customer better, man? So definitely, man, I hope you can give me some good insight on this question, man. Have a great day, man. Thanks again.
Bow. Hey internets. So really good question. Wanted to bring it to the audience because a lot of people can feel overwhelmed. Even if you've worked on a clothing line before but never attacked it in terms of really being the person who's running everything and putting it together. Because a lot of designers think the jump from design to owning a brand is not that far. It turns out it's like a ravine. It's crazy because not only are you the designer and in charge of art direction and making sure your message is on brand, whatever that brand message is, because you're creating that, but you're dealing with a P&L statement. So your profits and losses, that's a whole nother hat that you're wearing that I always am very mindful, especially if it's an artist turned business owner, okay? So just everything granted, it's already a lot to deal with, right? So that's why I attack this channel with like the 4 pillars or the 4 foundations. If you guys have logged on to my free course, which is the pre-launch course, I talk about the anatomy of a clothing line. And so all of those that I talk in depth with the over 600 videos I have on this channel, right, goes into depth with sales, marketing, and then design and production, okay? So making good quality product and then selling it is what we basically boil it down to for those 4 if you put them into 2 groups, right? So the answer is really simple, but it's difficult to actually produce the results. So the answer is to be really organized so that you can have an idea of what's coming next. Does that make sense? So even though we don't know if a design is gonna sell, what we can do is base on a lot of data, right, infused with our feeling of what we think is going to move in the market, infused with just your raw artistic vision of what you think the market needs, right? So those are all different parts of a formula that you can have in varying amounts, right? So a sales guy is going to be data heavy, and then an artist is going to be, you know, vibe heavy, so to speak. But do you know that the 10 new designs that you drop into the market are going to sell? No, we do not, because we don't have a crystal ball. But you can do enough research and preparation so that things go smoothly and you have the best chance and the best marketing surrounding the capsule so you could try to move the product. Because at the end of the day, we're selling clothing, or if we're selling a pen, we're moving product in the mind of like a business owner, right? So if I take the feelings of an art out of it, we're trying to get this business to another level by moving product and then making more product and then moving that product. Okay, so a little bit of detail though, so that it's not a broad video. I did a video on 3 apps that I use to the death for business management and just being very clear and very organized. Asana, I use that for all of my detailed tasks for everything. I have a team that helps me with video editing. I have a team that helps me with freelance. Depending on the work scope of what I'm working on, it can be a handful of designs, it can be an entire collection. So I have different designers and production people that help me in different cases, and I can wrap them all beautifully in Asana. It has a free version, but it's really good at keeping details. Another one is Trello. Also used to organize work, but I use it in a different way. So to give you guys an example, one of the things that I focus on is consulting, which is a big part of my business. Many of you consult with me with your brands, and so I use Trello because it has a visual format to keep all of my brands there that consult with me, and in there is a dossier of all the things that we speak about. So if you've consulted with me before, this is how I organize our conversations and what your concerns are or your focuses are. So that's how one way that I use Trello. And then Evernote. Evernote is just like lives in the cloud. So all of the important information I need to drop, I just make a new Evernote article, and then it's all tagged so that I can always do a quick search and find, hey, who is that retail shop in New York that I wanted to add to my list of target vendors. And if I made a quick note because I saw them on Instagram, I can pull it up on my computer, and I can always pull it up on my phone as well so that I can pull that information. So all these tools with technology, and that answer might change, or there might be apps added to that in the future. Also, I would take a quick look at clothing brand academy to some of the templates that I have. And this is a plug, but I create the products for a reason, because it's things that people need from my experience of trying to help other brands. So probably one of the biggest ones is the budget, and the budget is a template, but it's a huge forecast of all the things, and it's taken from one of the last brands I worked with, actually merged with the last brand where I was the brand director. So it's pretty comprehensive as to all the things that you would need to pay for. But that, and also maybe the seasonal drop calendar that I have as a template, because these are not expensive. But what I've done is taken a lot of the professional things that we use, just like, so say a calendar, and you can form in your mind how your company needs to formulate its drops. So using this template, changing it, making it your own, and all of these things are basically using technology. But if you're a solopreneur or you have a small team, this will help organize you guys a lot. Now you can find your own ways of doing that, but I just want to go in depth so I didn't leave you a broad question. But just to organize, do as much research as possible, do as much work as you can up front, because there's things you can't control, like if someone botches a production and holds up your timetables and that sort of thing. So just preparing for all the different scenarios that can happen. And it's a lot of work up front, but later it will actually help you overcome any kind of overwhelm or nausea that you might feel. But it's definitely a lot. I agree, it's a lot to handle, especially if there's no direction. So hopefully this answer helps you guys. If you have more to add to the conversation or more questions based on what I said, drop it all down below. Follow me on social media when you get a chance. Thank you for the question, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.